How's it going, folks? I'm Des with DesFit, and this is the brand new Polar Ignite 3. And although this is the update to the Polar Ignite 2, you could almost think of this as a completely new watch because it has a new display, a new case, new software features, and it even comes with dual band satellite system technology, which usually isn't seen around this price range. So the Polar Ignite series line of fitness smartwatches have been around for a few years, offering a lot of the health and fitness tracking features that you'll find in their more sport-focused watches like their Polar Pacer Pro and Vantage series, but put a lot of those features in a super lightweight case along with an AMOLED display. And with the Ignite 3, they've really taken it up a notch from the Ignite 2, where they've added a ton of new features and changed around the hardware quite a bit, where this is nearly a brand new watch. So the Ignite 3 shares nearly the same dimensions as the Ignite 2, where it has a 43mm case, but it did increase in thickness just slightly from 8.5mm to 9.5mm, but the weight has stayed exactly the same at a nice light 35 grams. And the Ignite 3 comes in 4 different colors, so there's this black version that I have for you right here today, there's a purple dusk color, a brown copper color, as well as a sand color, and all of them run $330 US. And then all the Ignite 3s are water resistant down to 30 meters. They have a stainless steel bezel, and they also have a Gorilla Glass 3 lens protecting the display from scratches that kind of curves around the edge of the watch, where it's really nice looking. However, one of the biggest upgrades you'll notice is the display, where now the Ignite 3 rocks this 1.2-inch AMOLED display versus the 1.2-inch on the Ignite 2. Plus, they've kind of gotten rid of that little flat tire, flat surface on the Ignite 2. But another difference with the display is that they bumped up the resolution quite a bit, from 240 by 240 pixels to a whopping 416 by 416 pixels, and it really does show. The display is super bright, there's tons of contrast, and it looks even better because of that nice thin bezel. Oh, and the display also does look great outdoors. Another thing new with the display is that it also has an always-on display mode where it kind of dims to this kind of black and white display after about a 5-second timeout or so. So that's just where it's going to be really easy to see time at a glance if you're not interacting with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that the always-on display works during workouts, and I'm not sure if that's going to be something that'll be changed in the future. Oh, and really quick, if you're finding the information in this video to be useful, do me a favor, just quickly hit that like button down below. It's a small little thing that you can do that'll help this video and the channel quite a bit, and I appreciate it. And then just like the Ignite 2, the Ignite 3 also has a touchscreen, but this touchscreen on the Ignite 3 is plain and simple just a lot better than a previous generation. The touchscreen on the Ignite 2 was just a little bit sensitive for my taste, where it was sometimes less than predictable, but this new touchscreen works pretty much exactly how you want a touchscreen to work, where swipes and touches are all natural and predictable. Now, I like a lot of things about this Ignite 3, but one of the few things I don't really care for is this watch band. So this watch band, it's just a little bit stiff and it's not really all that comfortable. And then the tucking in mechanism in terms of how you actually tuck it into the back portion of the band right here, it's really not all that convenient. But the nice thing is that these are industry standard watch bands, so you just go ahead and pop these off and replace them with something a little bit more comfortable. Another new thing with the Ignite 3 is that they have these new quick access widgets, or another term would be complications, right here from the watch face, where you can customize these to different bits of information like battery life, the day and date, the weather, and calories burned. And here's the rest of all the other options that you can choose for all these areas. Now, AMOLED displays like this on the Ignite 3 are bright and crispy and really nice to look at, but they do consume a lot more battery life than something like the Ignite 3's sibling, the Polar Pacer Pro. But Polar has made it so the Ignite 3 can get up to 5 days of battery life without using the always-on display, and that did seem to hit the mark for me. However, if you enable the always-on display, that drops it down to like 2, sometimes 3 days, but that's still pretty reasonable considering how great the display looks. And then for battery life for recording outdoor activities, the Ignite 3 can get up to 30 hours of recording time, and they also have a power saving mode where it reduces GPS and heart rate samplings, where it can get up to 100 hours of recording time. And then on a little bit more of the nerdier side of things, they've also made some processor upgrades where they bumped up the CPU speed, and it makes moving through the menus and stuff like that pretty smooth, but I did notice some lag when exiting out of some widgets or some errors in interface. And I'm not sure if that's just a beta firmware thing or something like that, but I did notice some lag in a few places. And then you can also control the music playing on your phone if you have your phone connected, but just note that the Ignite 3 doesn't have any music storage or playback from the watch itself. Polar's been known for some pretty great sleep tracking, and the Ignite 3 is no different, where it can not only track your sleep stages, but it also can give you a nightly recharge status, basically a measurement of how well you've recovered. As you can see here from the short night of sleep that I had before, not exactly a great recharge status. But in addition to that, though, they're also rolling out another new feature with the Ignite 3 called SleepWise, where this adds another data point called Boost. So you have your sleep score, which is how well you've slept, and then you have your nightly recharge, which is how well you've recovered. And both of those are largely based on the last night's sleep. Boost, however, takes this one step further by analyzing your sleep history and tracks any variations over the last 14 days, like different sleep and wake times, to provide a Boost score, which is supposed to provide a detailed forecast of your daytime alertness levels, an optimum time to work out, as well as even an optimum time to go to bed the next night, which I think they're calling Sleep Gate. Unfortunately, the SleepWise feature wasn't ready in time for the launch of the Ignite 3, so I wasn't able to test it, but I will circle back this a little bit later on a future video, but I am super excited to test out this feature. And then just like the Ignite 2, the Ignite 3 comes with FitSpark training guidance. And what FitSpark does is it suggests workouts based on your previous training or recovery. So like here, based on the run that I had yesterday, it now suggests that I do some supportive work, like some core work, mobility work, or just some short cardio. And then another feature that's coming with the Ignite 3, but again, unfortunately isn't actually available right at launch, is going to be in-training voice guidance, where you'll be able to get audio feedback during your workout when you have your phone with you. And this can work either through your Bluetooth headphones connected to your phone or even through your phone speaker. And in terms of what kind of information you'll be able to hear, you can get your lap info, a change in heart rate zone, hitting different training zones, as well as even guidance during FitSpark's strength and supportive exercises. And it'll even give you different statuses like if you have GPS or if your external heart rate sensor has a low battery. Again, though, that's something that's supposed to be rolling out a bit later after launch with the Ignite 3, but stay tuned for a follow-up video where I'll go over how all that works. And then for what kind of sports that you can track with the Ignite 3, you can track all the typical stuff like running both indoors and outdoors, cycling both indoors and outdoors as well. There's pool swimming, there's also open water swimming, there's circuit training, as well as a lot of outdoor recreation profiles. The Ignite 3 also comes with a new GPS chipset, and this chipset has what's called dual band or dual frequency technology. And what this allows a device to do is access 2 different satellite frequencies at one time. So this sort of technology in watches has been introduced in the last few years, and the aim with this technology is to help get better accuracy in challenging environments, like around really tall buildings where it can be hard to get a clear view of the sky, or if you're under a lot of heavy tree cover deep in the woods. Oh, and another difference I wanted to point out really quick too is that with the Polar Ignite 2, it would use connected GPS if your phone was nearby for recording outdoor activities, but with the Ignite 3, it's only going to use the onboard GPS. And in terms of how accurate it is, from the standpoint of total distance, like on this run, we're good to go. Very similar to the other watches I was using that also had the same kind of dual band technology. And then for the finer detail of the GPS tracks, let's take a look at this map. And I have the Polar Ignite 3 in orange, by the way. So like on these straight sections of road right here, very much in line with the sidewalk, as well as the other devices that have dual band. The purple line that you see, by the way, is the Google Pixel Watch that doesn't have dual band technology. And as I headed up Pine Street here, the Ignite 3 started to wander a little bit into the street, but it really wasn't all that far off. Now, heading into some taller buildings that'll pose a few more challenges, the Ignite 3 sort of overshot this corner a little bit here, but then here, it nailed it going down this narrow alley. Right here, it sort of scooted into the building a little bit, but then over here, as I made this sharp turn and then into a tunnel and then out, it did really well. And then getting back into some taller buildings over here, it also did a pretty decent job as well as the rest of the run. Okay, and then for heart rate accuracy, the Ignite 3 has Polar's Precision Prime Optical Heart Rate Sensor, which has 10 LEDs to track your heart rate. And in terms of accuracy, here's an example of an indoor bike ride where there was plenty of varying heart rate, and the Ignite 3 did a pretty great job here. There was an ever so slight blip here, as well as a little blip over here, but other than that, this is basically perfect. And then for running, it did a pretty decent job here too, but not quite as accurate as the previous example. Oh, and this weirdness over here is my chest heart rate strap dropping out for some strange reason, so we can just ignore that. But for the remainder of the run, it was actually extremely close to the other heart rate monitors for the majority of the run, but it did have a few spots where it got off track momentarily. Not perfect, but still very usable. Overall, the Ignite 3 is a pretty big update to the Ignite series line of fitness smartwatches, where it comes with a ton of upgrades. I think one of the biggest upgrades is arguably that display and touchscreen, where the display is just great to look at both indoors as well as outdoors. And the bezel is also nice and thin, so it looks nice in that respect, and they've also managed to keep the size basically the same. The new dual band GPS chipset, well, it certainly wasn't bad for my testing and was a lot better than what I saw out of a device that only has the less powerful single band technology, but doesn't appear to be quite as spot on as some other companies' dual band devices. But in terms of features, I think this offers a lot for that $330 price tag. So if you're looking for a watch that can track a lot of your health metrics while offering plenty in the fitness and sports department, all with a great display, I think the Ignite 3 is worth a look. Anyhow, if you have any questions about the Ignite 3 that I didn't cover in this video, make sure to leave those in the comment section down below. And on your way down there, if you found the information in this video useful, do me a favor, just quickly hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel for lots more sports tech videos that are coming soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.